Welcome to Bharat Beyond Illusions. Today we speak about the voices that are often ignored, the silent cries, the unseen battles, and the pain that hides behind forced smiles. Suicide, mental health, a failing system. Three words that should shake the very foundation of our society, yet they remain buried under judgment, ignorance, and stigma. We live in a world where people preach, stay strong, but turn their backs when someone is truly struggling, where mental health is dismissed as weakness and seeking help is seen as a burden. How many lives must be lost before we finally listen? This episode is not just a conversation, it is a wake up call, a call to understand, to empathize, and to change. Because no one should suffer alone, no one should feel unheard, and no one should believe that the only escape is the end. Let's talk. Let's uncover the truth. Let's break the silence. The unheard cries, suicide, mental health, and society's failing system. Life is unpredictable. Some days the sun shines bright, filling us with hope. Other days, darkness creeps in, making every breath feel heavy. For many, this darkness doesn't just visit, it stays. Suicide is often the final scream of a soul unheard, choice made not out of cowardice, but out of exhaustion. And yet, our society, our laws, our people, none seem to care until it's too late. The unseen battle, suicide, and mental health. Mental health is a silent storm. It does not announce itself with broken bones or visible scars, but with sleepless nights, a hollow gaze, and a suffocating feeling of loneliness in a crowded world. Why do people feel like ending their life is the only option? Because their voices are drowned in sea of ignorance. When someone expresses pain, we label them as weak, overdramatic, or seeking attention. When they finally break, we cry, asking why they didn't speak up. Hypocrisy at its finest. These are the people who give their all, love, time, even financial support, believing in promises made, in the words of those they trusted. But sometimes those very people turn their backs, denying their words, erasing years of bonds as if they never existed. And in that moment, the pain of betrayal, loss, and being discarded like nothing can be more unbearable than death itself. Take a moment to reflect. How many times have we ignored a friend's struggle, dismissed someone's emotions, or laughed at someone's pain? Society doesn't care for the living, it only glorifies the dead. The question is, how many more lives will be lost before we truly start listening? The loopholes in Indian laws regarding suicide. Indian laws claim to protect its citizens, yet they fail those who need them the most. Section 309 of the IPC once criminalized suicide attempts, punishing those who needed help instead of giving them support. While the Mental Health Care Act of 2017 decriminalized it, loopholes still exist. Victims are often treated as criminals instead of survivors. But it isn't just about decriminalization. What about the families left behind? What about justice for those pushed to the edge by manipulation, harassment, or abuse? The legal system has no clear structure to hold the guilty accountable, and so abusers, cheaters, and manipulators walk free while their victims remain nothing but a fading memory. Justice denied. The cases of Sushant Singh Rajput and Atul Subhash. Two names, two tragedies, one system that failed them both. Sushant Singh Rajput, his death was shrouded in a controversy, theories, and an investigation that led nowhere. A man who inspired millions was reduced to nothing more than just a trending hashtag with no real closure or justice. Atul Subhash, a recent case, another soul lost, another family broken, another example of a system that remains blind to the real pain. Depression, manipulation, and societal pressure pushed him over the edge, and yet, just like countless others, his story will fade into silence. How many more lives will be lost before society stops turning mental health struggles into conspiracy theories and start demanding real change? The illusion of gender equality and the moral decay of society. We preach gender equality, but in reality, it barely exists. Boys are told to man up and never show emotions. Girls are told to suppress their voices to not overreact. Where is the equality when men's mental health is ignored and women are objectified or blamed for their own suffering? The youth, the supposed future of this world, is losing its way. Values are vanishing, and directionless minds are indulging in manipulation, deceit, and betrayal. Relationships are no longer built on trust but on politics and games. Some boys eliminate competition through manipulation and cheap wingman tactics instead of winning love through honesty. Some girls view this as a sign of power, admiring the Sigma mindset without realizing the toxicity behind it. Both genders are losing their self respect, becoming puppets in a game of who can exploit whom better. The destruction caused by orthodox families. Family, supposedly the safest place for a child, is often the root of their suffering. Orthodox families ruin relationships, suffocate dreams, and impose outdated beliefs on young minds. Instead of supporting their children, they control them. Instead of understanding, they dictate. Forcing marriages, denying mental health struggles, shaming victims. These are the sins committed behind the closed doors in the name of family values. But a family that doesn't understand you, that doesn't support you, is nothing more than a prison with a decorated name. The taboo of sex and the flaws in Indian law. Sex, a natural part of life, yet in India it is treated as a sin. Lack of sex education leads to confusion, unsafe practices, and misconceptions that destroy lives. Premarital sex is considered a crime in the court of societal judgment, and those who engage in it are shamed. But what about false rape accusations? What about the misuse of laws meant to protect? Movies like Article 375 highlight the reality how laws meant to serve justice are often manipulated. False rape accusations ruin lives just as real rapists walk free due to influence and power. And amid all this, the real victims, the one who need justice the most, are left unheard, forgotten, and ignored. The final cry, why suicide seems like the only option. When society offers no understanding, when laws fail to protect, when family becomes the enemy, when love turns into betrayal, when years of sacrifices are reduced to nothing, and when every door seems closed, suicide starts to feel like the only way out. It is not the desire to die, but the unbearable pain of living with memories that refuse to fade, with the betrayals that cut too deep. When the mind becomes a battlefield and every thought feels like an attack, the silence of death seems kinder than the noise of existence. But here's the truth: struggle is temporary, pain is temporary, the world may be cruel, but it is not stronger than you. You are not your past, you are not your pain. And no matter how dark the night seems, the sun will rise again. Conclusion. The final words of strength. Your trauma may traumatize you, but stop fighting it and just let it flow. Your story may not have a happy beginning, but that doesn't define you. It is the rest of the story that matters, the choices you make. Suicide is not the answer. Believe in karma, stay human, and stay truthful. Don't waste your life over someone who failed to see your worth. Even if no one chooses you for who you truly are, believe in yourself. The one destined for greatness will reach their destiny no matter what. The world may be broken, society may be blind, but your life still holds meaning. No betrayal, no heartbreak, no injustice should have the power to define your worth. You are not weak for feeling pain. You are not alone in your struggles. And the most important factor, your story does not end here. Suicide is not the answer. You are more than your suffering. You are more than the scars they left behind. The world may not always understand you, but that does not mean you do not belong. Believe in karma, stay humane, stay truthful, Let the pain shape you, not destroy you. No matter how many times you fall, remember your destiny is waiting, and those who are meant to see your light will find you. This is Bharat Beyond Illusions. Thank you for listening. If you or someone you know is struggling, reach out, speak up, and never let the silence win.